Alright, this is just on the corner of Martin Place. In about, what, maybe 10 seconds, I'll turn around and see if there's an actual protest. This is Sydney George Street, by the way, just between Wynyard and Town Hall. Pretty busy section of Sydney and Australia. I'm curious to see if Martin Place is flooded with protesters.
50s people on the car.
Watch out, tourist. Alright. That can't move, it's so occupied. Then again, it is only 1:30, coming closer to 2 p.m. I should say. And the Reserve Bank of Australia is near the top of Martin Place, which I'm going now. So there's not much down here. Typical Saturday, quiet in Sydney like normal. Shopping's on the other end of town anyway. There's a lot of financial types in this particular street. Gold traders, currency traders, all sorts of people. Very, very old school Australian. So I'm going to be curious to see the clashes that happen between the protesters and these types of people. They can be quite serious, particularly because Australia's taken such a strong stance with regulatory stuff for our banks in particular. So part of the reason why Australia has such a low unemployment in the first place is because of a lot of effort from Australian people within the governments, privates, publics, all over the place to keep it very low. So some people will believe that the protesters, quite frankly, have no right to occupy. Again, not very many people occupied yet. A lot of skaters and as well as a lot of homeless people up on the top end of this part of town. So have the protesters considered that they're going to be occupying, speak of the devil, occupying an area where homeless people have been occupying for a very long time. Australia has rules like terra nullius and squatting rights and things like this. It's, I wonder if the protesters have considered some of these kinds of rules, laws and legislations. Good work. Hey mate, has there been any protesters around yet?
I haven't seen any.
No, what? Good. Keep the skaters out. Just get heaps of skaters.
Yeah.
Just skate past them if they're in the way. Fuck it.
Hey?
Just skate past them if they're in the way.
Maybe up there, I don't know.
I'm gonna have a look. Thanks, mate. So we're past halfway up Martin Place, so this whole area technically could be occupied. But again, Australia is in a pretty good position in comparison to media, perhaps, compared to the rest of the world. So we don't have a very good right to complain, I believe, but people are struggling on the ground floor. So if the arguments are valid and they present a good case, the protesters, then perhaps they will inject a bit of a change into a system that many believe is a bit broken, myself partly included. This is the Channel 7 building, which is right next to the RBA. So if you're looking to get some news coverage, Channel 7 will probably be the first ones on it. I'm expecting them, they should have cameras set up. But this is the RBA on the right, the big, tall, brown, boring, government-looking building, right next to Westpac, which is probably it is the oldest bank in Australia. The oldest elevators in Australia as well. That place freaks me out. I've never been in the Reserve Bank of Australia building personally. This is the occupied space. See a couple of cops in the top right corner. So a couple of cops on the left, I think. There seems to be something going on up there. I'm gonna have a look. Come on, lady. Come on, man. Again, lots of homeless people up here. It's not a good place to occupy, I believe. It'll offend a lot of people. I'm suspecting they're setting up now. So when Monday morning everyone floods into it and it gets quite busy on this street. There we go. Let's chat. See about 3 cops to the left. Should have brought my gas man for real. I don't think anyone even noticed. Let me have a little bit of a look. Very stinks, by the way. You're not supposed to shit on the ground, guys. There's some flags. Tends to occupy. I don't see some cops that don't like being recorded on TV. Some of the first people with signs. It is early. It's probably a good thing. We have an anonymous guy. G'day, mate.
How you going?
From Anoni, are you?
Yeah,
I'm a white hat. So I'm a white hat security guy, performance tester in Australia. Yeah. We invite you guys to the black hat.
Right.
You don't know what I'm talking about, eh?
No, mate. No, sorry.
You got to be a hacker to wear that, man.
Oh.
Or you're going to look very embarrassed.
Oh,
It's all good, no worries. Have fun.
that's cool, mate.
I got a sneaky suspicion that's going to be the calibre of the protesters here today. Australia, I think, should not be holding this kind of protest, perhaps. But it is starting to build up. Guy waving a flag. Perhaps thinks it's the Olympics, I'm not sure. Yeah, an occupancy has actually started. Interesting. Feels like Nimbin. So yeah, we got the first song. Cops having the yarn in the corner. The Anoni guy. I should have asked him about his sign. I feel a bit flat. Another Anoni. Or anonymous, whatever they call themselves. The mask does stand by the things other than the hackers that would have been on call. Alright, I'm gonna call it a pause. So let's talk to this guy. G'day, mate. Is there anything you're protesting in particular? If you don't mind me recording?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, I'm campaigning for the death of liberty around the world.
Fair enough, fair enough. In what forms would you say it's died? In Australia in particular, because you are holding the flag.
Yeah. Well, I think the way the banks and the governments keep on printing money into this fiat money system is criminal.
Criminal, fair enough.
And
Doesn't seem to work, do you think?
well, it only works for an amount of time before it collapses, and then people wake up and realise that a fiat money system is only designed to cause inflation, which is another form of tax.
Fair enough.
And they all go back to the gold standard.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's one part of my.
Perhaps maybe that's some of the. Any solutions to those kind of things instead of printing off money?
It'll end itself.
Kind of
The Federal Reserve and the Reserve Bank will end itself. There's no
Do you think
need
this
to.
is perhaps maybe the start of some of those kinds of endings or changes, perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. They printed more money recently in America and it did nothing. What did it do? It
Seemed to cause a lot of anger from
did.
what I'm seeing.
Because when you print money and throw it into a system, people get poorer. And
Last time I checked, money's supposed to represent goods and trade. I don't see what a printing press going and it's not representing anything while they're printing it. And so that's why I do agree with you.
money guess you've got to understand what money is. Money is production. If I produce something and I give it some worth and someone else produces something, we say, okay, we can swap that, it can work. So it's
Bartering kind of
trade.
system. Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of idea. Well, you're right in the middle of RBA on that side.
That's the-
You got Westpac, first bank in
well,
Australia on
this
that
is the
side.
head
Channel
of the-
7 right there.
this
So
is
for
the
a
head of the
protest, it's a
state.
good point to do it.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. I think it's a great idea. I'm actually, I'm not part of the Occupy Wall Street movement, but I'm a sole campaigner in Sydney.
Liberty, especially.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
loss of.
yeah, more the loss of liberty, and I'm a libertarian. That's my and I like to see Australia go. I want to introduce liberty to Australia. Would be fantastic.
Well, it is a bit of a foreign concept. If someone asked me to write a paper on liberty, I'm not as good. But if you ask an American, I could probably write a whole thesis. So perhaps you're right. There seems to be a bit of a lack of liberty in this country.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, America was founded on the principles of human rights and liberty for all, and minimal federal government, and that'll be a great system to live by. And it works. What doesn't work is when the governments go to bed with the bankers, print money, and become bigger. They keep on growing.
Doesn't seem to be working, does it?
No, it doesn't work. It seems to get boring. They get more pissed off, and then there'll be more of us. There's 500,000 of me in America right now, which is the biggest political movement in human history.
Fair enough.
So, and we've had the biggest debt in human history, so it coincides together, I think.
Oh, well, great speaking to you. And good luck with your protest.
Thank you.
Speaking to one interview with a guy. It seems occupancy is starting to take focus.
Yeah, we could do that.
There you go. Just gonna have to wake up a bit now. Speaking of which, great sign by the way. G'day mate. Need to broadcast that on text to about 1 million people. You need to broadcast that on text to about 1 million people. A lot of people out of work. It really is very serious.